Hello, people. We are here for the big one, and we have the three amigos back together. How we doing, boys? How we doing? It's a massive game tomorrow, and it'll be good to see all three of us back, and hopefully we'll get Willa back soon. But for now, it's the three amigos. How you doing, boys?
Good, bro. Good. I am ready for this. I've been going with Chest on Twitter. I've been going on Chest. I've been previewing the preview for a long time now, and I am ready.
I think we
to
all
go.
have.
Yeah,
I mean, the
yeah.
Leeds preview was like
I am ready
like
to
the last
talk
bit of
about
it was like
how
all about
shit
this
Spurs
thingy.
are. No, I am ready to talk about how shit Spurs are because like I don't want to
100%.
smoke for them, but just like I'm tired of people going on the timeline saying that they've been good and that we should be very worried. I hate this like petty bullshit where let's just get down to it. Let's talk about the tactics because I'm ready to rip them apart.
Yeah. So let's do that. So in terms of tactics, so let's talk about our team first because obviously Mikel's been speaking today. How do we think it's mining? I personally think it's bullshit. I think we all know that Ben White and Saka are starting, but if they don't, what do you think is going to happen, etc., etc.?
No, like I mean, factually, I mean, he said that Saka was okay earlier, so it's 100% just mind games, like stupid ones. But it was just his retort, kind of to Conte being a little bitch, really, a couple days before. Can't really get can't get Mikel's name out of his mouth, so just Mikel's just giving back a little bit. But no, I think they're fine. And look, Ben is probably the only potential maybe to a situation, but even in a hamstring, it's kind of a daily assessment. And I have a feeling that he was totally fine. They were just kind of saving him for this game. Really, if you could like patch up and band-aid somebody and you wanted a game to do it, it would be kind of a one shot with this as opposed to the last two. So yeah, no, I think it's totally fine. It's also been about 10 days current, like since he was actually injured and taken out, and that was before him being taped as well. So yeah, I'm not worried whatsoever.
So okay, what about if he is out? If either of them are out, what do you see? How do you see this changing?
If Saka's out, I worry for our front line because we haven't seen it without him in a very, very long time. So, and with Ben out, obviously the progression immediately is worse. But I think with Tomiyasu there, I think our aerial game will still be as strong without him. But with Tomiyasu there, the worry with Ben isn't as bad. And if Ben is back, Tomiyasu probably goes back to right back, and he'll probably play Nuno or Cedric left back. So yeah, if they're not there, Saka are a bigger worry than
100%.
Yeah, but if they're both there, then happy days. And
yeah.
So let's get into.
Also, I think when you also look at it, it's not even just Saka or Ben. Like there's been a couple people like Emil who is a vital part. Like Emil has to start. Even if he's half fit, he has to start, especially in the system, especially who we're playing, and especially for what it means for me. I'm a big fan of tactics, but also I lean into emotion in this fixture quite a bit. And I think an all front three hail end is something to actually talk about just emotionally, because I definitely think that this is a time to really look at the intangibles, because it's probably one of the only times bar Old Trafford or United fixtures that I'm going to ask to look at the intangibles, but this is the time to really lean into them. And I think for those boys, they will run themselves to the ground. And that's what's going to be needed here. We have to make use of their real shit buildup, which is just horrible. Romero's going to be an excellent pressing trigger. And we need legs. We need leggy legs. We need them to keep running, and we need to do a blitz. I really see us going hard and fast, really quick, and making it count and making a statement.
I mean, for me, I think this performance can actually be one that actually signifies our progression through this entire season. I agree with you, a 20 to 30 minute blitz. I see a great performance in it. It's a three at the backside. I see creativity between the lines in the half spaces with Emil and with Odegaard. I see everything that our season has been this year, and I really do feel that it's very this is a performance, I think, that will sum up everything our team has been about this year. I don't know. Let's see what I mean. I've got the lineups here. So what we think the lineups are. Yeah, so I've got them here. So in terms of tactically, I mean, I think we're going to play 4 at the back. I mean, we've done very well against 3 at the back teams with a 4 at the back, and I don't think there is anything to change.
There's nothing to worry about with Spurs. Like, I am tired of people being afraid. I'm genuinely tired of it. They have 2 world-class forwards. Let's have it right. Okay? They've got 2 world-class forwards, but in terms of them progressing up the pitch, in terms of them being able to get out of trouble and play through the lines quickly, that's not something that they've been able to do all season. Let's have that right. And when you look at it, their entire back line is very suspect, except who has like these opportunity to do well. And I think that axis is really the most important one. But when you're looking at it, look, Kulusevski isn't going to help Emerson, who's going to be absolutely clueless awareness-wise. Romero's going to be super aggressive. He's going to be super touch-tight. He's going to lose the ball in build-up. Davies isn't better in build-up. And Lloris has a penchant for holding on to the ball too long. Like, I very much think that the Leeds impact and the philosophy, I don't think that the players that we saw are going to be the same thing, but this idea that we're going to press from the front quickly and really go for their throats is something that I think we have to do. If you give this Spurs team space and kind of areas to run, and you open up the middle of the park, they will hurt you. They will. So let's just squeeze the decks. Let's make Conte cry again, which he's gonna do regardless. Yeah, mate. Like I am not worried about this whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, with the suggestion of 4 or 5 at the back every time we play Spurs or Chelsea or someone like that or Brighton, the question's always, should we go 5 at the back to match them? And I just think it's fair because we don't need all the 4 that every time versus 3 at the back you have to go man for man. But against Spurs, it's dumb to go man for man because they work well in big spaces. They're not a good team in tight spaces. Son, especially out wide, Son and Kulusevski are poor in tight spaces. So putting them that you're trying to squeeze you're going to try and squeeze the pitch with your 4 at the back and your pivot rather than going man for man and let them get into big spaces, because them being in space is how they're going to kill you. There's no other way Spurs are going to, apart from maybe set pieces, but we're great in set pieces. So that's why I wanted to keep it 4 at the back, just to keep it tight, and then first half blitz, because I think the first goal of this game is always actually very important and it dictates the way they have to play, because obviously this game has naturally already, it's a massive game for both like Bragg and Rice, but it's probably the biggest North London derby in over a decade because of how much is riding on this, especially from a Spurs point of view. They can't not get 3 points. Like, they have to get 3 points to move to top 4. Like, for them, if they don't get 3 points, it's pretty much done. So we just need a draw, which is obviously not natural for Spurs because they've played well in the big games versus City, Liverpool on the counter. That everyone keeps talking about. They just drew Liverpool, but they did it on the counter. But they can't play like that on Thursday because it's at their stadium and they need to win more than we do.
The onus is all on them. I'm hearing people being afraid about a counter and a transition threat. And look, if we pack the middle, you stay compact, and you let your number 10s float in between the lines, Conte system and 3 at the back systems in general, by the way, that's where the space is, in between the lines with your 10s. That's why, for me, having a Martinelli is not something that's smart. And if you don't have Martinelli on the pitch, your left back can't be Nuno Tavares. It has to be Tomiyasu. And the biggest thing for me is you have to put players where they're most comfortable in. If we look at it with Tomiyasu right now, there is a lot of benefits to having Tomiyasu. Clearly the son, everyone keeps saying, but also Bentancur. He is the only midfielder in their ranks that has an ounce of forward play. And so for me, if you're going to be squeezing up the pitch, you want to free Martin Odegaard as much as possible, get him in that top of the D, and let kind of our forward players run havoc. And in order to do that, you need to have Tomiyasu and somebody to step in, because I think that El Neni will go man for man against Kane. You cut off that supply line, it's game over. It really, really is. And having White back there to really be aggressive in the press is crucial. And we need Tomiyasu's recovery pace. We need him to fill in for Ben when he does bite into midfield, because he's going to bite and he's going to do it to be aggressive. And so is Gabriel. And mate, I think that this right now, this is how you pack the center. You look at all games where they really struggle. Super simple. And I think that ESR, though, is another important battle. him against Romero is an absolutely key battle. And look, Romero's going to be dumb. He's going to bite. The boy can't help himself. Okay, he's like a fat kid in a chicken shop. He just can't help himself. He's going to go for the chicken. He's going to go for the ball, and we need someone technically reliable in order to receive in those tight spaces and attack the box. And we also need somebody with a little bit more ball striking right now, because when we have those opportunities and you make them count, you need someone to finish your dinner. So for me, you can't leave out the Hale End boys. Absolutely not ESR, who, by the way, is still our top scorer. So for me, it's
Saka is now 11. The 2 penalties.
Sorry. The 2 penalties took him over the edge.
I got it wrong as well on Twitter, don't worry. For me, there's multiple key... Yeah. Sorry,
it's
George,
just,
but
it's
for
key,
me,
it's key. It's key to have him in there, and I think Eddie is going to have a really, really good game. I mean, if Saka was to be out, I agree with Jay. Like, that whole point is just to have someone going out to in, right? Like, we're not going to have somebody overlapping on that side necessarily. So it's just a simple plug and place with Martinelli. If that was to be the case, I would not put him on the left. I would put him on the right wing and just ask him to make runs in behind Davies, who once again has zero awareness on the ball. I'm telling you right now, Dyer is going to shit his pants. He's going to give away a goal. And Romero, in possession, when they're trying to build up, is going to be caught on the ball. I think right now, Eddie Nketiah might be one of our most important players in this game, just applying pressure for 90 minutes. If he can really give something for the first half at least, and really go hard and all of the boys stick to their assignments, I really don't see a way for Spurs to get out. And if you do give them the opportunity, make no mistake, that's when they can make you pay. But no, I'm not worried about this at all. And lastly, Curran, before you go to the other guys, this Tavares worry is pointless. If you put Nuno Tavares high and wide, by the way, we need a little bit of chaos in that area, because who's there? Romero. He will bite. And in terms of people saying, I'm worried about Kulusevski, guys, Xhaka against Kulusevski is the 1v1 man in the system. It isn't Nuno Tavares. Nuno Tavares is tracking Emerson, who I'm not worried whatsoever about. ESR is tracking Højbjerg when he's going back. So no, I'm really not worried about that. And Granit has shown he can do it, but also Kulusevski can't move. He's not like that. He doesn't create separation that way. The best parts of Kulusevski is if you give him a little bit of space, and he has excellent ball striking in and around the box. You ask him to do big spaces, that's not a worry.
No, for me, there's multiple key battles. I mean, I think George has touched on a couple of them, but for me, I think this channel here, if you look at this channel between Romero and Emerson, because Emerson obviously will have issues with Tavares, even though people aren't too high on Tavares this minute in time. Emerson's just a terrible defender. Tavares running out to in, that will be an issue, and his link up with ESR has been very good. I think ESR dominating this channel here, and this is the thing, these dual 10s, as we've said all season, at ESR and Ødegaard will be so key, because between the lines, especially centrally, like if I take Ødegaard out of here, right, do you see this massive amount of space here centrally? Because they want Kane high so he can play in transition. There will be space for Ødegaard.
Like even if Ødegaard is there, part of the issue is you're going to have a very similar shape in the final third, even if we were to go to the other traditional 4-3-3 and have Martinelli wide. You're going to end in this 2-3-5. But the issue is, instead of ESR being there, you're going to have Xhaka. That is the biggest difference. And for me, it makes zero sense to turn Romero, who is aggressive and, by the way, can meet Xhaka. Like Xhaka, for as good as he is in terms of progressing the ball in the final third, I need space for him to feed balls in between that wing back and wide center back, which he's excellent at.
The Leeds game.
Also, but like the Leeds game, but also I don't find him great higher up the pitch like that. He's not great in tight spaces, so he's not going to be able to really.
And tracking back as well. You need him further back so he can physically get back into shape.
Well, him and El Neni will have to take turns on Kane. Right, like you'll want a man marking job with El Neni, which is why it's really important Tommy Asu's there, because I just want El Neni to follow Kane and don't let him breathe. And
personally, I think that would be on El Neni. Personally, that would be on El Neni for me, because I think with Xhaka you'll run progression through him on the left side. Otherwise, you'll go for White on the right. And I think that if you look at how we set up and where the key battles are and where the spaces in between the two lines of their block. And that's where we have creators. We have two creators on that pitch. And I think with the ability to have two creators in that pocket of space, in between the lines, in between Romero and Emerson, obviously Saka between Davies and Sessegnon. So basically, the space is either centrally between the lines or between this channel for cutback. So you can either have runs in here for Nketiah to come back for example. But the key battles are centrally between the lines and between the wide and wide centre back and the full back, and that's where we can hurt them because we have the players to do so.
Well,
the other thing
another
I'm going to
thing,
mention,
just to kind of address this comment really quickly, Curran, is when you play away, and in order to stop these derbies, you need to pack your 11 with technicians. That's another thing. We need to squeeze it through possession. And so that's another reason why, for me, I'm not a big fan of this Martinelli on the left and, the Tomiyasu at left back. Like, for me, what you need to do is when you're in those wide spaces, that's where the space is going to be against Spurs. It's not going to be centrally. It's going to be out wide in that kind of wing back to third center back row. And for me, you need to maximize your technical security in areas of the pitch that your opposition is the weakest at. And so for me, that's why you absolutely need these technicians to be kind of in the middle of the park. They need to be able to receive between the lines. And then that is what will squeeze the space that Spurs operate in. And they won't have an ability to give them the Harry Kane out ball. No matter how deep he drops, it's not going to help them. And so that, I think, is the real key for me. And I think when you look at it, sure, Son and Kulusevski can kind of do it, but they're not as reliable as Harry Kane. And, Son is basically their striker. Son doesn't really drop back in the same way. Kulusevski tries to help out, but again, Højbjerg is really poor at progressing the play. Bentancur is the only person that likes that switch. You will see him look up for Kulusevski switch in transition, but I'm really happy with kind of Grant Xhaka and Gabriel there. That I find that that's no problem for me because, again, Kulusevski isn't this demon over long spaces. So for me, it's very easy.
Yeah. The two most important players in this game for me personally would be Granit and Tommy. I think those two containing those wide outlets, obviously Elneny as well, containing Kane, but in transition. But running back, if we can keep an eye on those two, on Kulu and on Son, if we can keep those quiet, then fine. I don't really see problems. The issues is if we get lazy in transition, which I don't see us doing, or they just they have that one moment where someone switches off and they hit one of their great balls. But in terms of what I expect from this game, I expect a game where we go at them hard at the beginning. I feel like a Leeds type 2 where we just go insanely hard, except we don't have a red card to sort of throw a chicken in the nest or something along those lines. I feel like it's going to be. I don't think it'll be a low-scoring game, and I just feel like it will be a game where it will. Like for me, I feel excited for this game because I know that the things we've got done in preparation for this game throughout the season. I know that we've done great work against three at the backsides: Chelsea, Aston Villa, other teams. Leicester, thank you. Like we've done great work against three of the back teams. We've done well against low block teams. We've done well in controlling transitions. We've done well in sitting on a DM to try and prevent progression. Even though we won't do that this game at times, there will be times when they try and play out the back and it will just go crazy, and we'll just play that 1-2 press, and we'll sit on either a Højbjerg or a Bentancur, whoever they're trying to run progression through. There will be times in this game where literally everything we've done through this season, I just feel like this is one of these games where you're just like, holy shit, we worked so hard throughout this season and we're seeing it all in this game. So I'm excited for this game. I really am. I'm not nervous. I'm excited because it's a game where you feel that there's a real opportunity to really stamp an authority and say this is not the shittest top 4 race. This is a really good and young and exciting team with 18 of the 20 youngest Premier League starting 11s this season alone. I mean, we're going to be the first. We're going to be one of the only teams I can remember who's had literally the consistently most youngest 11 that will take down teams and finish in the top 4. So for me, this is a statement game, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and just lastly, I don't know if you're a little bit late, mate. I think Conte's a pussy. I think that his comments lately have been absolutely one of somebody that's a very big beta male. He's already making excuses. He's been making excuses, by the way, ever since he's been in the job at Spurs. And the little thinly veiled comments about now he's angry about COVID. Well, I have one word for you, lol. And if you actually look at it, not only that, but his constant whining about having not enough time with the team. If you were as great as you perceive you to be, if you were as great as everyone keeps saying, by the way, then make it work. Find an 11 that can actually sustain the ball a little bit, and maybe stop with this hoof and run, relying on your world-class forwards to dig you out of trouble. That's not world-class, mate. That's just Sam Allardyce could do the same job. So I'm just tired of kind of the narrative really with him. I think he is a little bit more of a dinosaur manager. I think his aura needs to be respected. What he's done in the past in the game is fine, but his tactics are outdated. They work specifically in leagues that lack the running and lack the running power to keep up. I think it's no coincidence that Inter team, and in terms of how they played, even if it was 3 at the back, I maintain it only lasts for you for 18 months to be successful, and you won't be successful in Europe. And so for me, this is, if anyone watches basketball, this is probably one of the
it's actually quite good.
analogies I've ever seen.
No.
I mean, I haven't seen him drop.
Conte is a winner. Conte is a winner.
Conte is a winner. I mean, he won with Boston, but anyway, my whole thing with Conte is he's literally the opposite of Mikel. I'm taking this off, by the way. He is the opposite of Mikel. He is a dinosaur manager who refuses to take responsibility for his decisions. Constantly, we've seen Mikel go, "Hit me. This is my team. You come for me, not these players." And instead, you see Conte going.
Can we call it what it is, Curran, mate? It's weak. He constantly makes excuses about the fact that he doesn't have a squad built enough. Meanwhile, he's the one that spent or wasted 75 million pounds in the January transfer window. All of, by the way, the negative things that I saw on Twitter. In fact, why didn't Arsenal spend? Well, this is why. You're going to end up getting a team that's going to get top 4 with very different short-term strategies. But one manager is crying about the team that he doesn't have, and the other just got down to work and just did it. In the words of Nike, so I know which man I'd prefer.
And the other thing is with
not having enough time over the season. He's barely seen Europe. Like they got knocked out of Europe early. He's been out of Europe for months. So them and United, because the United fans are saying the same thing. They've been on the same schedule as us, where you just have a lot of one game a week. But no one's saying it because they started the season. And like, for example, United have only played 3 more games than us this whole season. Why? Because we went far in League Cup and they didn't do anything in Champions League. And so all these people complaining about, the only reason you're in the top 4 is 1 game a week. The other teams that we're competing with had 1 game a week. So his complaints and him saying that the game should have been played in January, like, obviously COVID happens and things happen for a reason. So we're going to play them. And like with Conte, it's going to be weird because we haven't seen him be forced to dictate. Like, they have to. It's their stadium. 2-3 games left in the season. They're the ones fighting for it, so they have to dictate the tempo of the game. And it's the first time we're really seeing them at home do this. He's done it at Chelsea just because they had great players, but in Spurs, I haven't seen him have to do this. What he has to do. And counters.
And really quickly, because I also want to address like this comment too, because I actually kind of share some of these concerns, particularly with Ben White, who I feel I don't think he gets nervous, he gets overconfident in a lot of these places. And I see him attempting things that I don't see him normally attempt. He should be a calming presence, and he's just very aggressive in away grounds. But this is also why, again, I go back kind of earlier to comments about should he go with Martinelli or ESR in order to combat people that are maybe not the greatest technically, or they do rush their decisions. You need to maximize your technicians in the squad, because you need to anticipate these things. So that's why I think he goes with the ESR route. But just really quickly to finally wrap up on Conte, for me, he has been making excuses every single game. Whenever it gets kind of hard, he goes, "Oh, I'll leave." And then when he kind of gets on a run, "Well, I did my magic." And I'm like, I see through you, mate. Like, you're doing nothing special, and you're going to jump at the earliest opportunity. And you know what? I can just see after we win, I can just see a story. And, he's going to bitch and moan to the commentators about how, the COVID is the reason that we should have played this game back in January, which is such a typical loser's Spurs mentality. It just, they really have to make it a little bit more difficult. It's too easy to make fun of them. They're such victims, and they're such pussies. I don't know how else to say it, because you know what, I'm not taking this kind of mentality where you're not in charge of your own destiny, especially when you have it at your own stadium, full crowd. We've got a weekend 11, by the way, with all of this stuff. No Tierney, no Partey. Make no mistake, this is not our best team. So for me, there's
And they
zero.
were ahead of us within the last
my whole thing is the whole thing of Conte. Every Spurs fan goes, oh, but we had Nuno until November. We had Nuno has 6 of your wins. 6 of your wins came under Nuno. You have 19 wins. Okay,
you spent £75 million, Curran, on Bentancur and Kulusevski. I don't buy your excuse.
This is the thing. This is the thing, though. I think the first 10 games, if I'm not mistaken, there were 6 wins or something like this, or it ended before the international break, the first international break. So you can go back and check how many games have been played. But there were 6 wins in that period. The rest of the season, he's had 13. He's had 12 wins or 13 wins, something like this. And my whole thing is if you look at Conte, he hasn't exactly done magic. 19 wins in total, 6 of them under Nuno, right? So that's 13 wins. It's not exactly magic he's done. He's literally just continued.
It's double the wins and double the amount of games. Your trajectory is not different. That's what I'm tired of people saying. It's double the amount of wins and almost double the amount of sample. That on a graph,
they've done nothing. Exactly, that was my point. Is that literally he's changed nothing. It's literally just the same thing. He's got Mourinho's block. He's got Mourinho's counter ball tactics. He's added Kulusevski to that, and he's added Bentancur to that, and that is Conte. And they've made it seem like it's some sort of magic big team killer. I mean, Nuno got through those points against Man City. It wasn't Conte. It was Nuno who got the first 3 points against the cold-cocked Man City. And we can go on for days about how it's apparently this huge winning mentality that he's produced. He's bitched and moaned. He lost 3 on the bounce and cried. But he's not used to losing. Like, it's stupid.
He's got less wins than us since he came in, and less points. So
they've played in 2022. They've played 2 more games than us, and we're only 1 point behind them. Okay, they've played 2 games more than us, but we're 1 point behind.
Since November the 2nd, when that's the day Conte came in, we have 49 points, and they have 47. So we have got more points than them since
he came in, and they were 2 points behind us. Now they're 4 points behind us.
Look, they simply don't have the facilities. I'm sick and tired of people on timeline doing this, and this kind of, we can't be confident. Why the hell can't we be confident, by the way? If you know that, Arsenal are the 3rd team in the league with the most consistent runs. People that have kind of put together 5 or 4 wins on consistent runs has been Arsenal, not even Chelsea. So I'm not really going off this narrative that, I should immediately be negative because then it saves myself from embarrassment. No, talk with chest, back your boys. And look, if the outcome happens and it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You hold your hands up. But there is no reason that we shouldn't be confident. I'm tired of Gunners kind of silking away in the shadows. These are the games that you need in order to get back in the Champions League, literally, but also figuratively. These are the type of games with pressure that we need to go, and also high standard FC, by the way, keep demanding. But then when it comes time to it, I'm shitting my pants. Come on, guys, make up your mind. Okay, either you want to play them and you want to win them and you want the moment, or you're going to take the moment from your opposition. And that's what I think that we're going to do. We are going to take our moment. So look, I'm excited. Should we go to predictions, mate?
Yeah. I'm gonna start. I'll go through predictions. I'm just gonna say one thing. Please miss me with this Kulusevski is better than Saka bullshit. I'm not having it. You can talk all you want, all the shit you want, Spurs fans. He's not better than Saka. Just calm yourselves. He's not even in his normal position. He's usually a second striker off his man. He's not a right winger, and he's done well in big space, as George mentioned earlier, but he's nowhere near the 1v1 demon. He's nowhere near the ball striker, even though Saka isn't the greatest ball striker. He's a better ball striker than Kulusevski. He's better in tight spaces than Kulusevski. He's a better dribbler than Kulusevski. I can go on and on. He's a better player than Kulusevski. Kulusevski, and I like Kulusevski. I think at Juventus, he was one of those guys that you could say, even though that system is shit, he could really pluck out a nice player there, and he is a good player. But no, he's not better than Saka. No, and this whole thing. I saw someone earlier say, "Oh, but he's only 17 months older than Saka, and they praise Saka so much." Who gives a shit? He's better than Kulusevski. It's that simple. Stop with this bullshit. Back your boys. It's that simple. For me, 4-2. I think it's going to be a traditional Derby Day score. I do think that we concede a couple of goals, but I think we score more. And I think that it's really, really going to be a game where hearts are in mouths, chests are being thumped, people are going to be up for it, and it's going to be a game that we go, you know what? That's all we want at the end of the day. 3 points, 4 goals for the Arsenal. We come back and we celebrate. And boy, will we celebrate. I don't want to hear anything.
I'm going to be unbearable. I am absolutely going to be unbearable on the timeline. I'm sorry. Actually, you know what? I'm not even sorry. I say I'm sorry because I'm trying to...
we're not sorry. We're not sorry.
But,
sorry. Find me another Arsenal YouTube channel that said that we would finish top 4. Find me another football YouTube channel that said we would finish top 4. Any of them. Find it, send it to me, and I'll be like, calm. I'll go and shake that person's head.
And no one on heart, I haven't seen a major content creator, even the minor content creators, say that we would
forget major, minor. No, I haven't seen anyone say it.
Yeah, Kulusevski gets recognitions for playing a Hail Mary NFL pass. But yeah, no, look, I think for me, prediction-wise, I've gone big, and I do it on purpose because I believe it. 3-1, exactly, Lucas. That is my. Everyone knows that's my favorite predictions, but especially with Spurs, I see Hale End really doing the business. I actually see all Hale End boys getting a goal, but unfortunately, that bastard Harold is going to get a decision from somebody. He always scores in these fixtures, so I think somehow him or Son, but I kind of lean towards Kane in these fixtures. He's going to get kind of a late consolation goal, but I see us blitzing them quite early. So yeah, I'm going to go 3-1.
See ya, Chris. Well, when he gets back, we'll discuss it.
No, I'm here. I just didn't realize my mic.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I never really know until like just before the game. I've been having a bad feeling that it will be 2-1 Spurs. But
is that your prediction?
I can't predict Spurs to win. So
spit it out, big boy.
Here we go. If you're a BoP a long time, you know the CK tactics.
Wait, Karen, what did you go for?
I went for 4-2 Arsenal.
And George, you're 3-1.
3-1.
2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. Okay, so the boys, the whole panel. I hope you guys enjoyed it, guys. Down in the comments, thank you so much for all your interactions. We really appreciate it. We hope you guys enjoy kind of the fixtures coming up. We don't want to keep you too long, so those are our predictions. We will be back with you guys with, of course, the review after we've confirmed top 4. But thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. You hit that bell for notifications to know when we do in fact upload. And of course, if you like the content and you're new here, thank you so much for dropping by. You can become a member if you'd like by clicking the little join button beside the subscribe button. And we're glad to welcome back Chris. It's been a long time. Everybody's been asking about you, mate, so it's glad to welcome you back.
People have been messaging me like, chill.
he's fine. He's coming back, and we'll even get him on stream for you guys later. He's just been busy. So thank you so much. All the boys' socials, you know the drill. Follow at BoP Footy kind of on Twitter, and of course you can find me at GeorgeV_AFC. Chris, mate, where can they find you?
You can find me at CK Football. And last thing I want to say is, come on, Leeds. I need a big Leeds win today. I need a big Leeds win.
Yeah.
Do you remember back in the day when CK was like, "Don't message me. I don't want to talk to you. leave me alone." He's grown up so much. Anyway,
I need Leeds to win. Though. Honestly, I do need a big Leeds win.
I know you do. Anyway,
be sweating. If Leeds win, George is going to be sweating.
Interesting. Kermit,
I've been the bridge between these two. I'm kind of on the fence, but they can find me at Yeah, more. You can find me at Karen BOP. You can find Willow at the one Willow, and make sure again BOP20 on Twitter so you can keep up to date with all the goings on at BOP.
Sorry to cut you off here, but I'm switching 4-1 Arsenal.
4-1 Arsenal, big boy win. He got involved. So thanks so much, guys. Good luck everybody at the pub. Have a good one, and we'll catch you guys later. All right, peace, boys.
Peace.